Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss topic molecular basis of inheritance. And from this topic molecular basis of inheritance we will discuss some points from this topic. But before going to discuss this topic, I want to give my little introduction. This is Madhurima Kale, Assistant Professor in D.Y. Patil College. I have completed my graduation and post-graduation in microbiology subject. I have also qualified the PIT examination from Mumbai University. I have the 5 years of the teaching experience. So let's start with some points. So what are the nucleoside and nucleotide? So this is our question. But before going to discuss about this question, we should have a little knowledge about the DNA. So that's why I am giving some introduction about the DNA. So DNA is nothing but it is the genetic material. So this genetic material carries the information from one generation to the next generation. So let's consider, or if you have observed that the children's eyes color is looking like the color of his parents. That means the genetic information to these children is coming from his parents. So similarly, this is the structure of the DNA, and this structure of the DNA is carrying the sum of the genes. So the strand of the DNA, we said that DNA is the double helix structure. So this is the double helix structure which is present in the anti-parallel way. So anti-parallel way, that means they are having the opposite ends connected. So let's consider this is the 5' end and this is the 3' end. So we are saying this is the anti-parallel, that means this is the 3' end, this is the 5' end. So what is this 3' end and 5' end? This 3' that means the 3' the group, that means the OH group is free on this end of the DNA. If we are considering this is the 5' end, that means the phosphate group is present free on this end of the DNA. So what is this? So before going to discuss about this 5' and 3' end, we will discuss the composition of DNA. So DNA is made up of the 3 components. So these 3 components, nothing but the first one is the nitrogenous basis. The second composition is the sugar. Sugar, that means ribose sugar. Ribose sugar is the pentose sugar. That's why we are saying the DNA is the deoxyribonucleic acid, because it consists of the ribose sugar. And the third thing is it consists of the phosphate. So this phosphate group is the backbone of the DNA. So the first thing is the nitrogenous basis. So again, if I am giving the classification here, the nitrogenous basis. The nitrogenous basis is categorized into 2 types. The one is the purine and another one is the pyrimidine. Ribose sugar is the pentose sugar, or we can say this is the 5-carbon sugar. And phosphate group is present on the 5' end. So I am writing this 5'PO4, that is the phosphate group. So purine, nitrogenous basis we have studied, that is categorized into the purine and pyrimidine. So again this purine and pyrimidine is getting categorized into 2 groups. So the purine, that means it consists of the adenine, and second thing is the guanine. So this adenine and guanine is nothing but this is the nitrogenous basis. And second thing is the pyrimidine. So this pyrimidine is composed of the 2 nitrogenous bases. The 2 nitrogenous bases, that means cytosine and thymine. So we will discuss now. You came to know the composition of the DNA, that DNA is made up of the nitrogenous bases, that DNA is made up of the ribose sugar, and DNA is made up of the phosphate group. Now we will discuss about what are the nucleoside and what are the nucleotides. So suppose we are considering this is the DNA structure. So here is the backbone. I said that on the backbone there is the phosphate group is present. So on its backbone here is the phosphate group is present, and here the pentose sugar is present. Now with this pentose sugar there is the one nitrogenous basis is getting joined over here. So nitrogenous basis is the benzene ring structure. So purine is having the double ring structure, pyrimidine having the single ring structure. But for this topic you only have to consider the composition of the DNA. Now we will discuss what are the nucleoside and nucleotide. Nucleoside and nucleotide. So nucleoside is the structure which consists of the nitrogenous basis and the pentose sugar, that means the ribose sugar. So here I said that this is the nitrogenous base. Any nitrogenous base here I am considering. The nitrogenous base, it may be adenine, guanine, thymine or cytosine. So this is the nitrogenous base, and with this there is the backbone is getting joining. So this is nothing but this is the pentose sugar. So this is the pentose sugar. That means the nucleotide is made up of the nitrogenous bases. It may be adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine, plus here is the pentose sugar. So here I am writing this is the ribose sugar, and ribose sugar is the pentose sugar. And in this bracket I am writing specifically this is the ribose. The next question is what is the nucleotide? So nucleotide, that means it is nothing but it is composed of again the nitrogenous basis. This is the nitrogenous basis. With this here is the ribose sugar, that is the pentose sugar, 5 carbon sugar, and with this there is the one phosphate group is attached with this. So this is considering this is the phosphate group which is attached over there. That means you can say the nucleotides is made up of nitrogenous bases plus ribose sugar, or you can say pentose sugar, or you can say the 5 carbon sugar plus phosphate. So this all things we said this is the nucleotide, and these things we said this is the nucleoside. So you might be observed that the nucleoside do not have the phosphate group, but the nucleotide is having the phosphate group, and that is the only difference between the nucleoside and nucleotide. That means the nucleoside is the nitrogenous basis and ribose sugar, and nucleotide is the nitrogenous basis, ribose sugar and phosphate group. That's all. Thank you.